Good night, Claudia. It's a pleasure to welcome you, and thank you for you taking the time to enjoy this for this interview. We about your background with a great interest in, particularly you work in communication for development, and you communicate to social pressure for cause on children and education. During this conversation, I would like to learn more about your experience, your motivation, your goals. So, please feel free to speak openly. If you're ready, we can begin.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
it's
Uh,
fine.
for the first question, why did you decide to study this career?
Okay. I s- when I finished high school, I decided to be a journalist.
Mhm.
But in the process of studying, I went for that career for like 3 years. In Peru, we were having a lot of problems. We had a pandemic and a lot of social and political problems. And I remember that one day we had this big protest in Centro de Lima, and the world for ourselves studying students for journalism changed in one night. Because we have a lot of work due to that same day, and our teachers were like, you need to change everything that you have already done for something related to the protest for today, like for in 4 hours. And we did it, but it was stressful. It was depressing. It was overwhelming because of all the political and social aspects, and not only being ourselves in a lockdown, but with a lot of people dying and all the repression. So that day, I decided that I didn't love it. I liked it, and I didn't have the passion that other classmates showed. Because I have one friend, Chino Ramirez, who is an influencer right now, who's a journalist, and he really loves his career. He really loves writing and interviewing and doing all this research and going in the field. I don't love it. I can do it occasionally, but not. It's not my passion. That is why in the third year of my career, I changed my specialty to communication for the development or social communication. And well, I'm in love since then with that specialty, and it is a career that focuses on people and how you can help them to not only fix their problems, but fix their community, fix their spaces. And we talk a lot of with no, we work a lot of with social problems. For example, I don't know, violence, gender violence, for example, or the migration, sexual assault protection, and right now I want to specialist in protecting children from risky environments. So yeah, that is my background.
No, it's very interesting. Well, for the second question, what were your difficulties in your career?
First of all, the how fast things change in communication, because you need to not only uh, be aware of all the trends that are in our environment, but you need to pay attention to every single detail that happens in the space that you're working. For example, well, in this case, Lima, Peru. And why? Because we work with thoughts and behaves and your beliefs, and we need to change them to fix problems. We need to change them to help you to be better, live in a better society. And it is complicated. Things change too fast, and some people don't want to stop believing into their schemes. So yeah, it's complicated, but we work through it, and we kind of work with we call it a backpack of tools, and there's a lot of we mix strategies to convince, for example, a community to wash their hands, to, I don't know, use the seatbelt, follow the traffic lights, and yeah, it's complicated because we work with humans at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I think it's a very a broad problem for adult organisms. So, well, for the next question, what were your work experience like?
I've worked in NGOs mostly. My first work experience was in CHS Alternativo, where I was an intern and I helped in a social project called Building Back Better, which specialized in teaching children and teenagers to protect themselves in online from sexual assaults and harassment. I I remember this really great because it was my first job, formal job, and they took me to Iquitos. I traveled there to follow up some activities. We were shooting a documentary, and we needed to take some classes to the children to help give them tools to recognize who was a catfish, who had a fake profile on internet, which are the common phrases to lie to you and convince you to go to somewhere and then I don't know, like sexual assault you or um, hit you or trafficking with you, and it was a really nice experience. After that, I worked at an investigation program. I was studying the implications of feminism in poetry. Um, then I worked in another NGO, but in this time trying to reduce the xenophobia in our country, especially with Venezuelans, that we have a lot of immigration nowadays, and the discrimination against them it's really big. And I found a lot of things according to our culture and how we sometimes have problems with external people because our way to live and Aryan politics and how we don't trust anyone nowadays. But after that project started, USA decided to stop the fundings. And if you don't know, most of the social work in Peru is funded by USA. So a lot of NGOs had to stop their projects, and it was one of mine. So I had to change my job.
Oh, this was terrible.
Yeah, that was a horrible. The worst week of my life because I was tired of working with that team. They were toxic. It was a toxic environment, and I told them, hey, I don't want to work with you anymore because I already had another job in another NGO, and and I remember that I told them, hey, bye, but I'm gonna help you for like 1 week so you can find another person. And the next day, Trump said, no more fundings to anyone, bye, screw you guys. And in that week, I was working in my second job, and they also told me, I'm sorry, we need to let you go because we don't have funds anymore. And it was the worst January of my life. And luckily for me, in 2 weeks, I got another job, which is an e-learning platform. With I'm right now in Netsun, and I am creating online courses in research and design. So yeah, that is my work experience.
I suppose it was difficult to change to work other work.
Yeah, it was complicated because of the times. This place, Netsun, was looking for someone who I don't know had experience in not only managing tasks and projects, but also research, and had a lot of inner, what is the word for that? Like want to do something and do it for real. And a friend of mine worked there, so she recommended me to their bosses. And I remember that I had the interview a couple of hours after I needed to go to Shakira's concert. So I was with all my full glam makeup trying to say, yes, I am serious, please believe me. I shut that down. I ate a lot, and something. And I went to the concert, and a couple of days later, they told me, you start tomorrow. And I'm like,
Well, I stay in the concert, so tomorrow I can do it.
I can work tomorrow. No worries. That's fine. What I like about this job is that it's home office mostly, so I have a lot of free time to take care of my dog, to be with my family, and work anywhere. Yeah, really.
That's great.